Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Lukman Bin Isnin and I am from Group 4. Okay, for today, me and my team members are going to discuss and share with you guys one of the topics in MAF651, which is Material Requirement Planning, MRP. Okay, before we go any further, please let me introduce my team members. Okay, our group consists of 5 members. The first one is Khairi Azim bin Fadir. The second one is Aiman bin Arif. The third one is Iqbal bin Saiful Anwar. The fourth one is Amirul Afiq bin Shaiful Azrim. And the last one is me. Okay, without wasting any time, let's go. As a start, please let me ask a question. What is material requirement planning? Material requirement planning works as a decision tool which the production planning and inventory management system used to manage the logistic processes, okay, all the processes, and designed to assist the production managers in scheduling and also placing the order for items of dependent demand to make the finished product. Right, basically that is material requirement planning. Plus, companies use MRP, okay, the short form for material requirement planning, MRP, to estimate the quantity of raw materials and to schedule the delivery process. In other words, MRP is a system that actually used to help people to manage their inventories efficiently and becoming more organized. Plus, MRP systems accelerates their manufacture production process by determining what type of raw materials, components, or other item that are needed and when to assemble the finished product based on the demands and the materials. Alright, after we get to know what is MRP, let's join me to get know the history development of MRP. Alright, so in this seminar, I will share, actually, there is 5 important years that we need to know in terms of the history development of MRP. Okay, 1950s, 1964, 1970s, 1980s, and the last one is 1990s. Okay, so the history starts in the early 1950s when MRP started in the United States. And it was computerized by aero engine makers associated with General Electric and Rolls-Royce. However, at that time, 1950s, MRP was not commercialized but was reinvented to use the Polaris program. Okay, so moving on to 1964. In that particular year, IBM engineer Joseph Olicki developed and formalized MRP in response to the Toyota manufacturing program. MRP was released to specific individual businesses and was used first by the Black and Decker company. Alright, moving on also to the 1970s. MRP received a major boost from the educational efforts of the American Production and Inventory Control Society, which also called as EPICS. Okay, over 700 companies has implemented MRP. Okay, MRP the system. Okay, as their inventory management system. Means in that year, people started to recognize and acknowledge about MRP. I mean the benefit, the use of MRP. And Afiq has become the main source of MRP education and certification, which had been continuously updated to be made more efficient for business. Okay, in the 1980s, MRP was developed into MRP2 by Oliver White as an extension of the first MRP. Unlike in the 1960s, MRP, the latest in MRP2, stands for manufacturing resources planning, while MRP2 actually it is about planning and control method that integrates the material requirements planning of MRP with all elements related to manufacturing such as personnel, facilities, and capital. So it means in 1980s we can see that MRP has evolved becoming MRP2. Alright? Okay, so to the last important years in 1990s, due to the competitiveness of MRP and also between MRP and MRP2, the system did not provide enough function, and this has made ERP arises. Okay, what is ERP? ERP is a software that shares information and integrates all the areas of the company. Thank you.
Thank you, Lukman, and my name is Aiman bin Arif. MRP can be identified by answering these three questions: what is needed, how much is needed, and when it is needed. MRP includes knowing the material that is needed for the productions by calculating the number of materials, which is the quantity needed for the productions, and identifying the other materials. For example, we assume a company manufactures bicycles. To answer this first question, the dependent demand items might include aluminium bicycle body, tires, seats, and bike chains. The demand is 15 bicycles a day, which is in total is 450 bicycles per month. For one bicycle, the company need one bicycle body, 2 tires on one seat, and one bike chain. The company needs to buy 450 aluminium bodies, 900 tires, 450 bicycle seats, and 450 bicycle chains to fulfill their 30 days demand. Thus, the second question has been answered. Based on this situation, to answer the last question, the company needs to restock the inventory every 1 month. Thus, the answer to the question of what is needed, how much is needed, and when it is needed provide clarity into what materials are needed, how many and when to fulfill the requirements, and help to facilitate an efficient and effective production schedule. In conclusion, companies use MRP on a much larger scale to make sure the right input materials are at the right place and right time to fulfill the demand. We move to the objective of MRP. So, first point is to organize manufacturing, delivery schedules, and purchasing activities. MRP systems are available to provide information that is available for the production process. So, if there is not enough inventory available in storage, MRP will generate production orders. Managers can use the information to schedule level to make the overall process without stuffing their production line. Second objective of MRP is reduce investment in inventory. MRP systems assist organization to order inventory on time so that these desired items are available where required. The order quantity is based on the actual number of components parts required in the production of an items. So, as a result, the organization can reduce their investment in inventory. Last one is faster response in market changes. MRP systems enable organization to respond quickly to the market changes. As MRP is updated regularly, it is flexible to respond effectively to the changes in the demand for the end product. If the market demand necessitates a change in the master production schedules, it can be easily incorporated in the MRP system. Next, we continue to the importance of MRP. First of all, customer satisfaction can be improved by reducing costs that typically used to hold excess inventory and ensuring that materials will be available on time of production. MRP will help manufacturing facilities to improve their customers' satisfaction, and also customers are more likely to purchase again from vendors that provide quality products in timely manner. Second importance is the production manager will get a fair insight into material availability and time taken for the manufacturing operations to be completed during product assembly, product testing, product packaging, and others. The managers can use the information about the work schedule that manage production time to control hourly operation, equipment, labor task, labor time, and operational costs. Lastly, MRP can ensure the accurate material planning and purchasing so that the manufacturers can meet the regulatory demand, and it can maintain the quality by giving full visibility of manufacturing process. For example, manufacturers can check their product, manage the quality by checking the expiry date of the product and the transparency of in overall process.
Hi, my name is Khairi Azim bin Fadir, and I will present about the steps and processes of MRP. The MRP process can be divided into 4 steps. So, the first step is identifying customer demands and requirements to meet demands. Manufacturers will start by inputting the customer orders and the sales forecast using the bill of materials (BOM) required for the production. MRP will disassemble demands into the individual components and raw materials needed to complete the build, while accounting for any required assemblies. The second step is checking inventory and allocating resources. By utilizing the MRP system, it helps us to check the demands against the inventory and allocating resources accordingly. This will help manufacturers to locate where and know their item in the stock. MRP also helps the manufacturers to see the status of the item. For example, the items that are in transit or the item is on order. The MRP will move the inventory to proper location and prompts with order recommendation. The third step will be scheduling production. Using master production schedule, this system will determine how much time and labor required to complete each step of each build. The production will occur without delay. The master production schedule also identifies what machines and workstation are needed for each step and generate the appropriate work orders, purchase orders, and transfer orders. If the build requires sub-assemblies, the system will take into account how much time each sub-assembly takes and schedule them accordingly. And the final step is identify issues and making recommendations. Since the MRP links to raw materials to the work process and customer orders, can automatically alert the manufacturers when there are items that are delayed and make recommendation to existing orders. For example, automatically moving the production in or out and forming analysis and generate exception plans to complete the required build. Next, I will explain the material requirement purchase input. There are 3 MRP input, which are inventory status file, master production schedule, and bills of materials. Inventory status file is a file that gives a complete and up-to-date information regarding the inventory. It provides details on the inventory such as on-hand quantities, requirements, scheduled delivery, and reorder data. The inventory status file stores information about each item expected and calculate the value of the inventory that will be available in specific time span. If the estimated available inventory is insufficient to fulfill the demand in the given time frame, the MRP software will suggest to order the component. Bills of materials are also known as BOM that keep a single updated version of the bill of materials is essential for accurate supply forecasting and planning. BOM is a system that is integrated into the enterprise-wide inventory management system, avoid version control issues, and building against outdated builds, which result in reworks and wasting. Master production schedule is an overall plan for production where it schedules the quantity and timing of all end products that need to be produced over the specific planning time frame. This will help the manufacturer control the cost of materials and planning the resources that need to be used in order to manufacture the products. For the material requirement purchase output, there are 3 MRP output, which are plan order release, order rescheduling, and plan order receipts. Plan order release, which refer to the authorized orders to be made. This is to ensure that the item is received when needed, determined by offsetting plan order receipt by procurement lead time. Plan order receipts is the outline the quantity and timing of future material orders before the order to be received at the start of the period under consideration, which it will satisfy net requirement of that period. However, this order is not yet been placed but will be in the near future. Order rescheduling is needed for expediting and de-expediting the cancellations of open orders in case of unexpected situation. In other words, it indicates revision of due dates or audit quantities of cancellation of orders.
Assalamualaikum sir, my name is Muhammad Amirul Afiq bin Shaiful Azrim, and now I will explain on the advantages of MRP. For the advantages of MRP, firstly is time saving. MRP systems are completely automated and require a very little human interaction. This saves a significant amount of labor time that otherwise be spent on the inventory procurement and production management. This system is significantly more accurate than any human method, which will reduce error. It also saves and handles production data, which eliminates the need for entire departments. Next, the second advantages of MRP are resource management. As we know, the essence of every industrial process is raw materials. By having control and ready information about the raw materials availability, so the projected yield of raw materials will offer the manufacturer an idea of what other resources to use in the process. The MRP system also informs the manufacturer of what equipment is needed, at what time, and when extra labor is necessary, as well as whether to employ or acquire operational assets. In other words, it could give an efficiency process to the industry. Next, the last advantages of MRP system are economic purchasing. For economic purchasing, the system considers the quantity and cost material needed. It is also including the cost of shipping, storage, and the carrying cost to determine the most cost-effective purchase to meet the demand. To certify demand, MRP system economically optimize purchase with high precision to save the manufacturer from the cost of unnecessary purchase. Next, I am going to present on the disadvantages of material requirement planning, which is MRP. The first one for the disadvantages of MRP is demand oriented or highly dependent on data. Not all companies depend on demand forecast, especially when it comes to the data implement of inventory. If the input information is not correct, then the output for the material planning will also be incorrect. So this could seriously compromise the result and the production will not run as smooth as expected. The second disadvantage of MRP is high in cost. The MRP system can sometimes increase the inventory cost, since MRP helps to anticipate the shortage early. Therefore, businesses need to invest a lot of money in developing research, testing, training staff, and the complexity took a lot of time to learn a new system to act accordingly, especially when to keep the implementation project inside the company because of the steep cost for the installation. The last disadvantage is the inflexible system. MRP system is not compatible for specific business. The existing system in the market may not be compatible to meet the needs and modify according to the ordinary cost of the business. So, the companies that have simpler operation may need to find another better solution instead of using MRP system facility that leans more on the complex side. Hence, we can see that every system will have their own drawbacks and there is no such thing that is perfect. That's all from me. Thank you, and now I will pass to the next presenter is Iqbal.
Thank you to Amirul for presenting the advantages and disadvantages of MRP. Now, my name is Iqbal bin Saiful Anwar, and I will continue this presentation. So, in this slide, I will be presenting about advanced planning and scheduling software. So, what is advanced planning and scheduling software that we also call as APS? A software that can aid with material requirement planning is APS, and this software can aid with the manufacturing operation around the world that are needed for efficiency increase. APS or advanced planning and scheduling software allows the manufacturer to easily view their production process as a whole and also manipulate areas that are in need of help. APS also can be implemented into operation around the world. So, advanced planning scheduling software has become a must for modern day manufacturing operations due to customer demand for increased product mix and also fast delivery combined with downward cost pressure. APS can be quickly integrated with MRP system to fill gaps where the system lack planning and scheduling flexibility and accuracy. Advanced planning and scheduling, it will help planners to save times while providing greater ability in updating ever-changing priorities, production schedule, and inventory plans. APS can create optimized schedule, balancing production efficiency and delivery performance, maximize output on bottleneck resources to increase revenue, synchronize supply with demand to reduce inventories, provide company-wide visibility and visibility to capacity, and enable scenario data-driven decision-making. Implementation of advanced planning and scheduling software will take your manufacturing operation to the next level of production efficiency. Also, taking advantages of the operational data you already have in your material requirement planning system. So, that is it about advanced planning and scheduling software. Next, we move to the end of the presentation, which is a conclusion. In conclusion, MRP is a computer-based production planning and inventory control system that helps the company to evaluate inventory control and material planning issues. It is also the most system that companies use nowadays. So, I think that all from us. Thank you for watching our presentation. That's all. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.